things that you can wear and that will fit all occasions.
Yeah, I've worn the Stenstrom short sleeve shirts every day this week. When I dress up or even just want to look nice at a game or a Lynx game or something, I wear the Stenstrom dress shirts. But really, the Brax pants are the most comfortable I've ever worn. They are more comfortable than jeans. I never thought I'd have anything more comfortable than a broken-in pair of jeans.
And he keeps saying that, Scott, so thank you very much.
Twill in the Dining Galleria, twillmn.com, Twill on Instagram. So you mentioned it. We have a franchise here under Zimmer. We've had crazy amount of change and crazy amount of assets spent on kicker punter. So they make their final roster decisions. They get rid of Sloter. They get rid of Zylstra, doing everything they can to piss off the local fan base, let's face it. Yeah. And they get rid of the guy they sent a 5th-round draft pick to Baltimore to get and bring in Colquitt as their punter. So I actually don't look at this roster and say, boy, they screwed up. But the way they got there just seems to be very dramatic, you know?
Yeah, I think so. I agree. I mean, you look at what if you want to be the optimist in this situation, especially with the kicking situation. They brought in Corey Vedvik. They spent some assets to do it. Some teams, some coaches, some general managers would say, this is your job, whether it's punter, kicker, whatever. This is your job. We got to do it. And no matter what happens, his performance in preseason and in training camp did not merit a spot on the roster. And so they did not throw good money after bad and say, we're just going to endure this. So in that respect, that's sound. That process was sound in terms of giving him an opportunity to win a job. He didn't win a job. They went out and got somebody that they think is going to be better. But the process of it was really messy. And especially with a position group that you've had so much trouble trying to get stability and performance out of, and one that relies so much on continuity, familiarity, repetition, they don't have any of that.
And the ability to relax.
They don't have any of that right now. Now, Britton Colquitt and Dan Bailey are super veteran guys that should theoretically be unflappable going into this season, but they need to be like ultra unflappable because if for whatever reason in week 1 against Atlanta there's a botched snap, there's a missed hold, there's a missed field goal of any kind, everyone is going to look back to the process that led to that point. Sometimes kickers just miss field goals, but all of this chaos is going to be hanging over them in that respect. So it's a bit of a risk. They have not gotten it right in their tenure here. Maybe they luck into it a little bit this way, and really in the end that's all that matters. But the process to get to this point was messy, and it only invites more scrutiny rather than saying, hey, these guys got this under control.
And here's what I've been saying for years.
Hey, Minnesota sports fans. This is your local State Farm agent, Tony Hoaglund. I need you all to ask yourselves this question. If you're in an at-fault car accident and you are sued for $700,000, how much of that $700,000 will my current insurance company pay? If you are unsure or can't answer all $700,000, you need to give us a call. State Farm has been number 1 in car insurance since World War II and number 1 in homeowners insurance since 1964. For a no-obligation review of your current policies, call us at 763-421-4900 or check out our website at www.champlininsurance.com.
You have Dan Bailey and Colquitt as your kicker and punter, and they're both proven veterans. They're both good at what they do. Well, you never can predict how they're going to perform in a given season, but they're both, guys you'd want on your team in general. You always could have gotten them or guys like them without drafting kickers and punters, without drafting kickers and punters and long snappers, without giving Blair Walsh a contract that you gave because you drafted him, because you believed in him. You could have gotten guys like this at any time, at any point in the last 6 or 7 seasons, and not having spent all those assets when you have a roster that really needs some depth, needs some offensive line depth, needs some defensive back depth, where you could have drafted maybe a project quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. It's a resource allocation issue, and that's when you spend draft capital on these positions, it just makes it so much more important that you hit on them. It's almost like a double loss when you do that, and you also have to say goodbye to them, because most teams are not drafting long snappers, punters, kickers. So they are using that capital to go out and get other position players that are of more demand. It's like in fantasy football when, in general, I think that most teams are saying, I'm taking a quarterback in like the 6th, 7th, 8th round because there's so many good ones that I can find one, but I can't get my running backs and receivers. I got to get those elite. So, but if you're going to break that mold and you're going to take Patrick Mahomes in the 2nd round or Aaron Rodgers or whoever, they better be great for you. They better be. You might just plug him in and he's going to be an elite player from the jump for you, or else you're in real trouble. And so that's what the Vikings have had here, where they do have, like you said, defensive back depth issues right now. They do have. You could always use another offensive lineman. You could always use another receiver or whoever. And by using these picks on these players, you miss another bite at the apple to get somebody that you can come in and develop, especially in the defensive backfield where Zimmer has a history of developing these guys into real players. So that's where the logic is, like, man, they haven't just spent one pick on a kicker or a punter. They spent multiple picks on these specialists, and all they have to show for it right now is a long snapper who's never snapped once in a regular season NFL game. Absolutely.
When Tim Yoder was doing the show, we did a segment during every season called Stupid Prediction. And we are going to do stupid predictions here. Do want to thank BiteSquad, bitesquad.com, BiteSquad, the app. You can just upload your information, and it makes ordering really easy. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, late night, snacks, ice cream, whatever you want. It shows up looking like you just came out of the kitchen, and they will deliver to your home, to your office, or wherever else you happen to be. Use the promo code TALKNORTH to get your first delivery fee waived. Keep using them after that because they've been a great company to work with our network. All right, let's do stupid predictions for both Week 1 and final season record.
Week 1, my stupid prediction is I think the Vikings win. I think it seems like every time I pick, every score I pick is like 24-20.
I know,
but that's
so
just,
easy.
It's just the way that it is. Like, I think that feels what this is, a home game. I think, I like Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. Those guys, I think it's a dynamic Falcons offense, but I think the Vikings can win this game and should if they're going to be a division championship contender. So I'm going to go Vikings 24-20, and I'm going to say 10-6 for this season, which I think in a tough division might just be enough to win the division. If not, it's a playoff wild card type situation.
I see the offenses being able to do some work on Sunday. I'm just not sure if the Vikings defense is ready yet. The Falcons have big receivers. They have Devontae Freeman back healthy. Matt Ryan is not going to be intimidated by the crowd noise. So I think the Vikings win. I think it's going to be like 30-23, something like that. I'm going to go Vikings 9-6-1. Just do something
9-6-1.
9-6-1. And I do think that even though I don't know what to expect out of Trubisky, I do think the Bears are the best team in the division. I think the Bears win a close division race. I think the Vikings go to the playoffs. And then we'll see how Kirk Cousins handles the pressure. We'll see how all these guys handle the pressure. Thanks to John Krawczynski. Thanks to everyone who listens. Go on, iTunes or your favorite podcast app. Subscribe and rate us and rip us. Do whatever you want. Continue to get the word out about TalkNorth.com as we have a very busy fall season, starting with Vikings and Twins playoffs with Roy Smalley analyzing and everything else. And, of course, Michael Russo on the Wild. Thanks to our sponsors and our listeners. We'll talk to you next week.